What's up, people? Today I am finally getting into my Justice League movie review. Coming up for you guys next. Justice League is directed by Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon, and it stars a whole slew of people, headed up by Ben Affleck as the Batman, and it has Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Ezra Miller as The Flash, and Ray Fisher as Cyborg. This movie, along with almost every other movie that DC has tried to do with Warner Brothers, has had a complicated history, and just to go over this one like I usually do with the others, because of personal problems in Zack Snyder's life that we won't really get into here, he had to bow out of this movie before reshoots were made, and then Joss Whedon came in to finish up the production and do reshoots and pep up the script a little bit. On top of all of that, we actually had studio mandates put down on this movie that it couldn't run over 2 hours long. And for a movie that really hadn't established 3 of its 5 main characters, really, that is a lot to do. And actually, the plot of this movie is really simple. And I mean, extremely simple. What it actually is Steppenwolf, played by Ciarán Hinds. He has basically taken control of 3 mother boxes and is going to use them for world domination and nefarious reasons. So we need a huge team to defend ourselves against Steppenwolf. We need a Justice League. And that is exactly our plot for this movie. And if you think that that is really simple, yes, it actually is. And I will talk about it today, but that is not entirely a bad thing. Because I will just say that this is the lightest and the most funny DC film in the new universe that they are creating for themselves, and that's okay with me. Now, I will say that this movie started out a bit rocky, and I will also say that that is where the editing problems really come in, and that is where my problems with just overall continuity come into play. For instance, the first time we see Batman, he is fighting those flying demons that come down in Batman vs. Superman in his dreams, and now they are actually a reality, but at the same point in time, they never showed us how they actually entered into our atmosphere or how they started attacking us. It's just, hey, Batman's attacking these things, go! And it's quite jarring. It's a good action scene, but it is really damn jarring for them not to explain how those parademons have gotten here when we have had a decent amount of films to actually, tell us. And then, if you notice, in the next scene, he has a full-on beard where he is recruiting Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I know that everybody has seen that scene in the trailers, and I will just tell you that when he was in the bat suit just the scene before, he didn't have those facial hairs, and I just felt like it was something that was filmed way later on that was just stuck here, and it is going to be a recurring problem with me and this movie. I feel like certain scenes, they just threw up in the air, cut up the script like confetti, and let it fall down on the ground and just put it together however it fell, because it just feels very random why scenes are where they are, and it never fits the scene before it. It feels very scattered, to say the least. Another thing that I found really distracting in this movie that I didn't notice in other DC films is the fact that in every scene there is some form of CG. And in most scenes, the entire background is completely CG, like this whole movie was just filmed in front of a green screen. And I can't escape the feeling that this movie definitely feels like it was just filmed on a set and not actual locations. And that is just a big difference for me, even from Man of Steel, where we came from originally, where, you know, those scenes actually felt like Smallville and Kansas. And this definitely doesn't feel like Gotham to me. It just feels like some studio backlot. But what actually does work in this movie is how this team works as a team and how these actors play along with each other, because that is an important dynamic here that I feel like they really hit. I've already talked about how I feel about Bruce Wayne as Batman. He is a very good Batman and a very good Bruce Wayne. Here, I feel like he felt a little bored, but at the same point in time, it's still a good performance, and he actually has a lighter side to himself here, and I love the fact that they play along with the fact that he is the only person that doesn't have powers, so when it comes to certain things that the team has to do, he has to kind of sit back and just be the money man that supplies the whole expedition, because, hey, this is like other world kind of stuff that he can't really fight in. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is really great. I am getting used to her in the role, and every single time I see her, I like her more and more. I feel like she is a lot more comfortable in this movie than she was in even Wonder Woman that came out earlier this year. I feel like in time she will be a really, really great Wonder Woman, but still, here today, she is definitely a highlight of this movie, especially in that beginning action scene that she has where she stops the bank robbers. Really, really great stuff. Jason Momoa's Aquaman was the character that I was worried about the most. I don't see the appeal of Aquaman, and I just feel like he's a guy that can talk to fishes. You know, there isn't a whole lot that this team can actually benefit from Aquaman, and I feel like they went the right way here. He is very much comic relief, not as much as The Flash. We'll get into him, but Jason Momoa is actually really funny in this movie in kind of like a brosif kind of way. At one point in time, he's like riding the Batmobile like, yeah, come on, come on, bro. And it is funny, although I do feel like at times he can feel kind of useless, at times he can feel kind of powerful. I am not sure how his powers really align with the rest of the Justice League and how he will help them out. But hey, maybe in later iterations or his solo movie they can prove me wrong about him, because I want to be proven wrong about Jason Momoa. I actually did like him in this movie, besides how sometimes it can feel kind of aimless. Ezra Miller as the Flash is definitely our main comic relief. Everybody gets comedy in this movie. This movie is just a lighter movie than the rest of the DC universe, but a lot of the comedy definitely comes from him. For me, he feels more than just a little bit forced, but at the same point in time, I generally just kind of steer away from the more comical characters in films, especially in comic book films, and he was definitely that element. But I will say his Flash speed up slow-mo action scenes definitely had a lot more of a zing to them than the rest of the action scenes in the film, and I will say that some of the absolute best action scenes involve the Flash in the movie. And then we have the most interesting character in this movie, and the character that I want to see more of, and that is Ray Fisher's Cyborg. He definitely has a very tragic kind of Frankenstein monsters backstory that I want to see more of, and they really integrate him into the story more than I thought he was going to be integrated into it. Now, as for the side characters, like Batman vs. Superman, they are very much to the side. Amy Adams, Lois Lane, has a needless role here as just somebody that is just pining for Superman and is just a device to tame him once he comes back into play. J.K. Simmons is our new Commissioner Gordon, and he has absolutely nothing to do other than to just pop up on screen and show people, hey, this is the new Commissioner Gordon. What do you want to say? He doesn't do anything more than that. Even Jeremy Irons as Alfred gets lost in the shuffle here. He definitely has some moments with Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, but overall, he is very much a side character, and I feel like those side characters get absolutely nothing to do here, but hey, this is a movie that was largely compromised by its runtime. So on to the action in the movie. It does feel very CG'd. And I mean very CG'd, but it is largely entertaining and good. And once we really get this team working together, I feel like you get some very interesting action scenes with these characters playing off of each other. At one point in time, you know, Wonder Woman is falling down and Flash needs to just push her sword towards her so she can, you know, land safely. And hey, it was just a cool action scene, and I loved seeing these characters on screen playing off of each other. And last but not least, we do get the reintroduction of Superman. Anybody that thought that Superman was not going to be in this movie is largely mistaken and foolish. Of course, Superman will be part of the Justice League film, and when he does come back here, I feel like they definitely make him just the do-all man. And from that point on, a minor gripe is that why would he need the rest of the team when he can just come in and do almost everything that they can do? I mean, literally in this movie, he is as fast as the Flash. He is as strong as Wonder Woman. He is as smart as Bruce. And you know what? I bet you any money he could probably swim as fast as Aquaman. What else? Why? Why would he need this team? He can just come in, kick ass all by himself. He is too much of the do-all man. And from the point where he comes into this movie, that I won't spoil it for you guys, but the movie definitely feels like they could just focus on him, and that is it, because nobody else matters. But overall, guys, I had a really good time with this movie. It is a fun, light, and fluffy movie that has some significant editing problems and problems that have to do with the studio mandate of being shorter than, you know, 2 hours. I heard that there was a 3-hour cut of this movie, and that definitely makes sense because this movie feels chopped to hell. Overall, guys, this movie gets a 6 out of 10 with me. I had a good time, but like always with these DC films, I had a significant problem with the villain and with the overall just choppy nature of this movie. So coming up next on the channel, I have to get into all the DC Blu-ray reviews. Those will come at you in a rapid pace because I definitely have to run through those. And after that, I definitely have a lot of surprises that will be coming for you guys for the Christmas season. You guys won't want to miss it. So subscribe so you'll know when those videos come out, because you know you want to check out those videos. And if you've seen Justice League and you disagree with me, I want to talk to you guys about it. Comment below. Let's have a discussion about this new Justice League movie. I'm not going to do spoilers because I feel like as a large, this movie is pretty uneventful, but at the same point in time, I definitely want to still talk to you guys about it, so comment below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are great, and I will see all of you next time.